Everyone, welcome back to a new post today. Today, let's look at the most important topics that you need to keep track for April 3rd with regard to the UPSC upcoming Civil Services Examination of 2025. And the very first is of the Government of India taking a decision now to form a committee to look into the amendments of the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act, aiming to allow private companies to participate in the nuclear sector of India. India wants to increase the nuclear power energy component in its energy basket, aiming to achieve the net zero emission target by 2047. The Indian government now has formed a committee of members from various departments to discuss the amendments to the Atomic Energy Act and also the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act that came into force in 2011, aiming to allow private companies to participate in the nuclear sector. The act aims to provide civil liability for nuclear damage with regard to the nuclear power plant and and also provide for compensation to the victims who have been affected by the damage of a nuclear incident through a no-fault liability to the operator. It also provides for appointment of a claims commissioner and also establishes a nuclear Damage Claims Commission. Now, the Act made amendments to the Atomic Energy Act of 1962, allowing private investment in India's nuclear power program. The issue of an accident with regard to the Union Carbide's factory in Bhopal therefore made the passage of the Act very, very difficult, and the Act came into force in November 2011. The Act is in tandem, is in conformity with the Convention of Supplementary Compensation. So, what exactly is this convention? Now, this Convention of Supplementary Compensation aims to establish a minimum national compensation amount and increase the amount of compensation through public funds to be made available to the contracting parties for any nuclear accident. The convention is open not only to the states that are party to either of the Vienna Convention on Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage or the Paris Convention on the third party liability in the field of nuclear damage, but also the other states provided that their national legislation is inconsistent with the rules of civil liability of this convention. And this was signed in 1997, and the Convention on Supplementary Compensation came into force in 2015. Its members are the parties to the Vienna Convention on Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage and the Paris Convention of third party liability in the field of nuclear energy as well. Government of India is now looking to reduce the imports of steel into the country and has therefore brought out new rules for favoring domestic manufacturing. These rules are called as Domestically Manufactured Iron and Steel Products Policy of 2025. Domestically Manufactured Iron and Steel Products of Policy of 2025. It aims to favor the domestic manufacturing at a time when mills are struggling with low prices of iron and steel due to sharp influx of imports, a government notification itself said. Now, India's finished steel imports from China, South Korea and Japan hit a record high in the first 10 months of the previous financial year, which ended on 2025 March 31st, the government data showed. Now, the new rules mandate all the ministries and the departments and the agencies under the Government of India to prioritize locally manufactured iron and steel products. The policy is valid for 5 years and it can be extended by a gazette notification of the Ministry of Steel. The move comes weeks after the Director General of Trade Remedies under the Ministry of Commerce, which functions under this Trade Ministry, recommended a temporary 12% tax for 200 days on certain steel imports. And the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board is a body which is related to nuclear energy. It was constituted in 1983 by the Government of India, exercising powers. It is formed under the Atomic Energy Act to carry out certain regulatory and safety functions under the Act. The regulatory authority of the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board is derived from the Atomic Energy Act and Environmental Protection Act. The headquarters of the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board is in Mumbai. The mission of the board is to ensure that the use of radiation and nuclear technology in India does not cause the risk to health and the environment. Currently, the board consists of a chairman, ex officio member, 3-time members and secretary. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a Thailand visit to attend the 6th BIMSTEC summit. Now, Prime Minister will join the BIMSTEC, that is the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectorial Technical and Economic Cooperation, which includes leaders from Thailand, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Myanmar, Bhutan, to oversee the signing of the Agreement on Maritime Cooperation. Now, the BIMSTEC summit will bring Modi face to face to Nepal KP Sharma Oli and Bangladesh Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus and Myanmar Myanmar military junta Min Aung Hlaing, among others. India had operationalized Operation Brahma with regard to Myanmar, and we are facing the issue of illegal immigrants from Bangladesh and from Nepal. There has been certain skirmishes between the relationship between the Nepal government and Indian government recently. So these are some of the issues that are going to be discussed within the BIMSTEC summit. BIMSTEC is an intergovernmental grouping that was formed very recently, find out when, and it includes the following countries as well. India has been giving focus to BIMSTEC countries more than SAARC as of recent. So this is about the BIMSTEC region in the Bay of Bengal being an important part of the Indian Ocean and also a connecting place between East Asia, that is India, and East Asia as well. So these are the most important topics I thought I should be discussing with you all for April 3rd. If you did, please do like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video. I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.